what is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a 2006 mixtape by Snoop Dogg. Basically, this product is called the Blue Carpet Treatment Mixtape, and it came out in the fall of 2006. So this is some extra type candor here from Snoop Dogg, which is a pretty excellent fare. I remember this album cover being around. The album cover for the Blue Carpet Treatment Mixtape was originally going to be the album cover for the Blue Carpet Treatment album. And I was always kind of disappointed back when this album came out in 2006 that this particular mixtape cover was not used for the album cover. But nowadays, it took 18 years to realize that Snoop Dogg just reserved it for the mixtape, which I didn't know about. Basically, I want to say that this mixtape has been underneath my nose, just unbeknownst to me for the most part, for the past 18 years, since just entirely not realizing that this was even a project as far as those pitches going to happen. Some excellent type fare. I had kind of thought that Snoop Dogg had done mixtapes. I wasn't as full-blown aware. I kind of thought, I was more underneath the impression that he was like Jay-Z and Eminem, that was this album only. I'm definitely glad that he is not. It's just within the pitch. I don't know how many, I've looked up, and Snoop Dogg has done a series of mixtapes. He's done like some smoking type ones. I forget what it's called. It's like some smoke sesh type mixtapes. He did a number of those like in the early 2000s, pitches like that, but definitely wanted to get to this one. This is a vicious album cover. It looks really sleek as hell. This more awesome than the actual Blue Carpet Treatment album cover. Not that one's a bad one, but it's just within the pitch that this is really awesome type one on here. This really feels vintage California. So this is really, the pitch behind it is this is Snoop Dogg just in prime era once again. The Blue Carpet Treatment album was seen as one of Snoop Dogg's most inspired projects back around that time in the fall of 2006 and late 2000s. So as far as those pitches going to happen, this mixtape is right up there with it. This is one of Snoop Dogg's best, but then I get the feeling he probably has a ton of these. Malice in Wonderland is of course a damn near classic, or virtually is a classic. Blue Carpet Treatment is extremely excellent. Rhythm and Gangsta is a pretty excellent one. I'd say Ego Trippin' is better than It Isn't. I do like some songs off of like his 2002 album Paid the Cost to Be the Boss, and definitely has some good singles on there. It was kind of underpromoted with singles, but you get the idea. There's just a ton of these as far as those pitches kind of happen. The documentary, from what I remember, I need to purchase that one, but the documentary was pretty damn good as well. So this is a highly inspired Snoop Dogg product. It's going to get a classic score, easy enough to kind of see. It's packed to the gills, and some excellent type fare to kind of get some of this, because you do get like basically an album's worth of new songs on here that are extremely excellent, and it has a pretty good budget on here as well. It has 3 DJs, so it's an excellent type fare. Obviously, Snoop Dogg was filthy rich around this particular time, talking is the fact that the 3 DJs that host this particular product would be DJ Woo Kid, which is G-Unit's DJ, DJ Drama, which is an interesting type pitch, and then DJ Ski, which is a West Coast DJ as far as those particular fares can go. So just the helmet of this particular product is very classic, just budgeted, just pitches like that. Has a bunch of big name guests on here. Flavor Flav is on here, which is an excellent type fare. He wasn't featuring too many folks around the mid-late 2000s. Jeezy and Nate Dogg are on here. Nate Dogg is on the song Crazy, but then he's also on another song on here, so it's a good team up to get one of the more recent Nate Dogg features as far as those pitches kind of happen. Big Daddy Kane is on here. Some cats named Dub Union and Warzone are on this particular product. There's a Swizz Beatz production on here. Cat Williams helps out with an interlude on this particular product, so it's plenty of overall good type atmospheres kind of get here. Just being able to say this like a secret kind of Snoop Dogg project that just nails it on pretty high grade appeals just within the pitch. So it has plenty of stuff, just as I say. So basically, there's 26 songs in this particular mixtape, and 11 of those are songs that are on other projects like the Blue Carpet Treatment album, and then like Daz Dillinger's The Dog Pound album. It's either Daz Dillinger's album from 2006 or the Dog Pound album. I don't remember which one, but it's one of those type of ones, and then there might be some other type ones on there that are just from 2006 albums like The Games, Doctor's Advocate, some of those type of pitches, but there's 11 of those. So out of the remaining basically 15 songs, there's like 4 intros and interludes. There's like 4 songs that are interludes, outros, intros, pitches like that. So it narrows it down to 11 songs that are new, and out of those 11 I wound up recommending 10. So yeah, this mixtape is going to get a 10 out of 10 just within the pitch. I feel like if it had been less new songs and there would have been 11 songs that were to be found elsewhere, it might get like a 9.5 or 9.75. But just the fact that many blistering type ones, this is a highly inspired Snoop Dogg. It's the same sort of pitch and sheen that he has on the Blue Carpet Treatment album, which is just some excellent type fare. So he doesn't slip on these songs. A lot of these are pretty buzzy, and are just like some extra kind of thoughts and candor that Snoop Dogg was kind of on around the creation time of the Blue Carpet Treatment throughout 2006. So it's good appeal. I just look after it. So basically the only song I don't recommend in any fashion off this mixtape is just Real Shit. So talk about that one. That one's just basically kind of a clumsier type version, like the song Real One, is just kind of one that's talking. I like the concept of Snoop Dogg just having like some lyricism, just kind of going in on personal type appeals and just the California type atmosphere, just kind of more of an update and some 411. But just the production type fare was just a clumsier type variation. What was Real One, just a bass heavy type one, just the same sort of pitch, just not as like banner of a production, just overall quite as like this executed and sonically pleasing, I'd say, in terms of like its attractiveness. Is probably one that I just wouldn't often lay full blown decide to listen to in a shuffle or something like that. Just feel like it'd probably have more skips than probably necessary, but I look after it. It's a classic mixtape here. So to talk about a lot of these, like a real immediate one to go for would be Wannabes. This is the Jeezy and Nate Dogg one, which is an interesting type pitch to get Jeezy on a Nate Dogg song. That probably should have happened a lot more. But this is like a glaring kind of makeshift malaise kind of get here. Just a Cali sunset and kind of ruffled day type song. Just a little bit bruised and brooding about this particular one, but it's a nice appeal. This has a great Nate Dogg Jeezy, has a great Nate Dogg hook and Jeezy collab as far as those pitches kind of happen. Jeezy sounds great on like a West Coast type song. Don't know how oftenly that happened, but this is an overall blistering type appeal, and it's a very woozy type song kind of get here. So I do like this one. Probably has one of the best beats on this particular product, but this whole project's excellently produced. But this is an immediate one to go for just in the pitch. I'd have to say as like a starting point. I mean, it shouldn't really take a starting point with Snoop Dogg, considering that he's basically like a household name and has that casual feel pretty much instantly. But I'd say it's just a nice one to kind of go for, just looking for some secret songs. I tend to go for like those uncommon Nate Dogg songs just because he was such an excellent hook artist. But another type flavor about this particular product that shows up on here that I don't commonly see Snoop Dogg do is like some of these hyphy songs. Like a real nice one. There's some ones on here like Territory kind of does that. And there's like another one on here, I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Another song that has some of that hyphy type of feel is We Do, but we'll get to that one. So Territory is like this feels like a hyphy kind of buzz noise to kind of get here, just marinate off some good feels that I have to say about this one in particular. Good, excellent concept for that. And it's like some late night smoke. I would definitely feel like here, social kind of Red Eyes type. Definitely some social kind of Red Eyes type music to kind of get here. And this is a good song to chat up as far as those pitches kind of happen. Just ham it up, pitches like that, hangout type fare, just within a more California type sense. Excellent type of appeal for that. Real nice hyphy beat, like I was saying. This buzz type noise feels like something E40 or Keek the Sneak or Mac Mall, some of those type folks would kind of do. Folks that would be on Ant Banks type beats, Mr. Fab, some of those type folks had to say. We Do is pretty similar to that. Now this has Big Daddy Kane on here, which is a pretty interesting type pitch. He was someone that wasn't popping up terribly often in like the mid-late 2000s forward, I'd have to say, or even past like early 2000s, I have to say. It's like a warped kind of Ant Banks and kind of Rick Rock kind of hyphy snaz to kind of get here. I would definitely feel like this some lowrider and kind of khaki post-up type music kind of have. Good West Side flavor, I'd have to say about this. Some 40 ounces and just overall just post-up, just within some of that type of atmosphere. Just a good kind of aspect of keeping it. Throwing up the W pitches like that, just would have to say, just within the fare as far as some of those type fares kind of go along with it. I do appreciate getting like West Coast mixtapes because I can't really think of folks that were kind of on the grind around that particular time. When you think of like Southern hip hop, when you had Jeezy and Lil Wayne and T.I. and some of those type of folks, and 2 Chainz and Ludacris and all those folks that were kind of doing that in Southern hip hop. As far as like West Coast kind of, I mean, apart from like The Game who kind of did that, there weren't a ton of West Coast. Like it was interesting that the West Coast did not really have like most of the West Coast producers that were, or most of the West Coast artists that were kind of around in like 2005, mid-late 2000s, for 2005, 2009 were more folks that were still leftovers from the 90s, like Snoop Dogg, the Dog Pound, Daz Dillinger, Corrupt, some of those type folks just within the pitch behind it. You know, E40, Too Short, some of those type folks, they were just more in like their 30s at this stage. But in terms of getting some of that mixtape type era, I'm glad that Snoop Dogg decided to do some of this type stuff. Definitely good. Just some good Thizz type stuff. It's too bad that there weren't Mac Dre mixtapes pitches like that. I mean, he was gone by this particular point in 2006, but still, it would be some great concerts to get some Thizz type ones. Got My Own is an excellent type song. This is a swarming kind of nightclub outside, I had to say here. Just a West Coast kind of Swiss Beats type beat. Definitely appreciate that appeal. It's like a Feeling Jarred. Once again, some more Red Eyes type music. I'm getting definitely some good dance noise. So this one is just Snoop Dogg completely amongst the club as far as those pitches kind of happen. This probably could have been a promo single or something like that. This really has the appeal. Just something like Get It On The Floor by DMX, just in a more West Coast type flavor. Just that hype kind of energy. Now Snoop Dogg's a lot calmer, but it just works within the pitch. Just being able to nail some of this and just have like a standard dance type. Just being able to have like some standard dance type craziness. Just be able to get within that fare. So some excellent type stuff. Real One is a quality one as well. It's like a groovy kind of bass jumper, I'd have to say here. Just a nice mellow kind of high as hell jive to kind of have for some of that. Just a Cali sunset kind of pleasure cruise type one. Definitely good for some errands out. So this is just one. Just cruising around in a low rider pitch like that. Cadillac type music. Slow creep into some of that type fare. Just getting like some Popeyes, some of that type ness. Going to Taco Bell, some of that type fare. even hitting up McDonald's, that I'd say just within the pitch of just appreciating like the pink skies, some of that type of nest, just smoking, pitches, you know, standing just out and about just in the neighborhood more so than at the house. And there is lots of, this is very much like amongst like the territory type fare within this project. I mean, some of it, there's not as many like walk around type ones, but it's definitely within. A lot of this is just kind of more sunny, kind of between about the hours of like 1 o'clock p.m. to about 7:30 p.m. I mean, I do think there's some dance club songs on here for like the night shift, but I feel like during the daytime it's just more Cali kind of, during the daytime it's just more sunny, kind of out and about, just neighborhood type strolls, pitches like that, which I do appreciate quite a bit. Afroman's really good at doing these particular type songs. E40, Too Short, they're pretty good at some of these. Eazy was definitely good at some of these type ones. So it's just daytime jaunts, pitches like that. Not as much night creeping like when you think of 3-6 Mafia and gas station run type pitch, but just the concept of just getting like pizza in the afternoon, some of that type fare, just standard post up and pitches like that, I'd have to say. But this is definitely like a cruise around type one, real one, I'd have to say. Long Gone's a pretty quality one, as well as like a throwback kind of woozy after hours malaise kind of get here. It's kind of similar to like The Last Meal. Yeah, this song Long Gone is similar to like vibes like The Last Meal, some of those type pitches. Definitely needed like a Butch Cassidy hook. This reminds me of something of those particular days, something like that. Like, I forget the song, very similar to like some of those woozy in-between type days by Snoop Dogg, like Wrong Idea or one of those type ones, just with the more Butch Cassidy type appeal behind it. But then this is a great song to toke to and kind of ruminate a bit. Long Gone is a great song to toke to and ruminate to, as far as those pitches kind of happen, just in-between type moments. This one's a little bit more around the house, I'd say, just house party type fare, or at least the concept of just having like some just afterthoughts, extra time to kind of just think, get some stuff done, as far as those pitches kind of happen, finish up small tasks. Look Around is a nice one. This is a pretty good bop here. It's like a typical kind of day surfing around, I'd have to say, just cruise around pitches like that, or just neighborhood strolls, kind of smoke on the go, I'd have to say. Kind of some evening gas station run and snacks ponder to kind of get just within the pitch. Just definite good snack run type music. Pick up like some corn nuts, some of that type fare. Just get like frozen burrito, some of that type. Get like a frozen burrito, some of that type good stuff. Just kind of smoke while out and about. Just kind of the pitch of just kind of like just pondering some of that type fare. It's another kind of ruffled one, kind of similar to Wannabes, but it's just kind of within the pitch of just like more typical kind of standard day commute, just within like the standard day malaise of like makeshift and pitches like that. I mean, it's more in like a West Coast kind of hustlers makeshift. I look after the tones, just standard kind of day outings, just with pitches like that. You know, Tuesday sucked, maybe Tuesday sucked, Thursday sucked, but Wednesday and Friday were good days. Just kind of the pitch of just the days that were kind of more awkward, or just kind of more ruffled to listen to some of those type ones, just depending upon if your week is dicey, something like that. Good tones for that. Good tones for that. Bad Bitch is a quality one that says Flavor Flav on there, which is a good team up. It's like some summer kind of Cali evening disco bounce kind of get here. This reminds me of like something by Zapp or like George Clinton, some of that type fare, in just a more traditional type sense. This really feels California within the pitch of just like electro kind of just bounce to the ounce, something of that type flavor. It's like a nice promo single feel about this one, I'd have to say. Really feels like it's like an enjoyable kind of Flavor Flav team up, I would feel like here, and the song jumps pretty well. So this one's another one I feel like, just like Got My Own by Swizz Beatz, I feel like Bad Bitch is another nice one that probably could have been a promo single in the right fashion, something like that. Just a good standard Snoop Dogg single that just kind of has him on like his summer jump, as far as those pitches kind of go. Just kind of neighborhood stroll type fare, just with a little bit of dance club bounce, maybe just being outside the venue or just out in the restaurant. It's kind of out and about where there'd be tables at a nightclub where you can just enjoy a beer outside or something like that, as far as those pitches kind of happen. Good standard jump. Listen is a quality one as well. This has Cat Williams on there, which is a pretty good pitch. He had a nice intro, just to be able to say that. It's like a nice kind of sunny primer for some evening enjoyment, I'd have to say about this one. It's kind of grab liquor, call up some beesies, breezies, some pitches like that. Just work shift relief, and just kind of a song to loosen up to, I'd have to say. So it's a good concept, just that standard bravado. This is a nice one. I mean, this album doesn't have a ton of kind of makeshift on here. If I had to say some of those type of ones, I'd probably say songs like Wannabes, Bad Bitch, in certain senses a little bit more relief. Not so much like 445 where there's still 15 minutes left to work, something like that, but more of like I feel like songs like Listen are at least somewhat just like, okay, time to switch to flip mode, get out of work shift, some of that type of, just get ready to get crunk a bit. I'm trying to think of some other ones on here that are kind of like that. Some standard, I feel like Long Gone kind of is within that essence a little bit, just a more personable and brooding type one, just within that pitch. But there's just some nice ones just within that fare, just having that standard makeshift to just, you know, breezy kind of Cali day pitches like that, just sunny skies, just appreciate the cruise around and just pickups and Taco Bell, something like that, just within the fair disc. But there is I mean, this album does have, this mixtape does have plenty of good just turn up within the pitch behind it. So it's just kind of the concept that all the makeshift songs are kind of good news. Is all the makeshift songs have turn up in mind. So that's some excellent type fair, I'd have to say. And then Kill Us is a quality one. This is another nice thumper of one. It's pretty similar to Real One, I'd have to say. Some of those type ones. It's like a woozy and kind of drowsy latecomers to kind of get here. Just a good concept for that. It's like some super kind of homies music. I would feel like just powwow, smoke up type fair. Just some loud ramble to kind of have in particular. And this is a nice jumper to kind of have. So I really like the bass on this particular song. It's really emphatic. The crews on this particular song. There's some folks on here I don't know is full blown. Dub Union and Warzone. It felt like one of those cats from like the East Siders was on here. I want to say that like Goldie Loke and the other cat, I forget his name. Goldie Loke and then Trey D, I wouldn't have remembered that, but within the pitch behind it, I look after some pretty excellent type fare to kind of get here. So yeah, I just would say good stuff to kind of get for some of that type fare. So yeah, this particular mixtape, real blitzing type appeal. There's some immediate type ones I would go for within the tone. Definitely songs like Wannabes, Territory. I'd say the song with Big Daddy Kane, We Do, is a nice one. Bad Bitch is a pretty good promo single. Has Flavor Flav on there with his kind of high octane energy, some pitches like that. Kills is a pretty woozy type one for like some powwow type fares pitches like that. I say Listen is a nice primer for some evening sense, like a makeshift type tone. Got My Own is like a real nice blitzing nightclub type song to get amongst the dance floor. So there's just plenty of type ones. It's real nice, excellent kind of shrill type turn ups kind of get within that fare. So 10 out of 10 score. Social Score is going to get a 10 out of 10 also. I just would say all this appeal, all these aspects behind it, real excellently produced, just fun jive, has some makeshift songs on here just within a recreational type sense and good energizing type fare to get you turned up. Has that West Coast flavor. It's a highly inspired Snoop Dogg type project that just delivers just kind of a more buzzing type appeal, but it nails it. It's just within the pitch. These songs, despite the fact that they're kind of more low key and just kind of beneath the earth a little bit, I feel like the tone behind how some of these work is just very executed and just within the pitch, that these are not songs that take terribly much kind of learning curve to get used to as far as those pitches kind of happen. So this works. In terms of the future, like the good news is Snoop Dogg is getting ready to put out an album in December as far as those pitches kind of happen. He's got an album called Missionary. You can see the album cover. It's a picture of a condom, pitches like that. It's going to be executive produced by Dr. Dre, just like Doggy Style was. Dr. Dre's on there a number of times, so some excellent type fare. I want to say Eminem's on there. Ice Cube might be on there. Some folks like that. So some pretty excellent type fare. Going to get that. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, I don't know if I'm going to review that anytime soon, but I do definitely want to. But I've got plenty more Snoop Dogg to get to, including these mixtapes that I just recently discovered. So some fares behind that. There's definitely some ones I want to get to. I want to get to the East Side, his albums, some pitches like that. There's definitely plenty more Snoop Dogg to get to, but this is a classic here, very underrated, and just the appeal behind it's worth checking out completely.